Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the online studios, MaxSportsOnline.com. Dameon Nelson coming to you here with this WWE Wrestlemania 22 wrap-up. Just back to the studios here from the venue in Chicago, the Allstate Arena, this sold-out Allstate Arena. Let's talk about it match by match. A show, WrestleMania, that is expected to deliver memorable moments. The annals of time. You've heard all the cliches. Did it deliver this year? We'll talk more about that in just a minute. The opening contest, which was scheduled for one fall, get it, was the Tag Team Championships from the Raw side of things. It was Kane and Big Show teaming up to take on Carlito and Chris Masters. Now, WrestleMania has long been known as the beginning of feuds and the end of feuds, and we saw that happen in this matchup. Seemingly the end of the Tag Team Championship run for Carlito and Chris Masters, however, the beginning of a feud between the two, which we saw buddings of at the New Year's Revolution pay-per-view. Kane and Big Show retained the WWE Tag Team World Tag Team Championships in that matchup. From the SmackDown side of things, it was Booker T and Sharmell going up against the Boogeyman, a man who has a limited degree of wrestling talent. He wouldn't doubt that, I'm sure. Boogeyman actually wins the matchup, folks, after kissing Sharmell with a mouthful of worms, catching Booker T off guard, down to the count 1, 2, 3. Short match, passable match, WrestleMania match, not so much. But the win goes to Boogeyman in his first WrestleMania appearance, and I appreciated in the fans, in the crowd actually, the many chants of Saba Simba. Tony Atlas was there, by the way. No Bret Hart. Bret Hart didn't feel comfortable appearing at tonight's event. Maybe it's because he was tired from his long acceptance speech last night. But be that as it may, the Women's Championship from Raw was on the line as Trish Stratus took on Mickie James. Folks, I've said for weeks that this build-up to this match has been one of the most intriguing, if not the best ever Diva storylines that I've seen. This match delivered. This match delivered one of the best matches on the card and one of the best Diva matches or female wrestling matches in the history of wrestling. You had drama, you had excitement, you had athleticism, and you had a crowd. You had a group of fans who were solidly but into the matchup. Granted, the finish was botched with a slip off the ropes by Mickie James, but it didn't stop her in her winning of the Women's Championship. So not necessarily the end of this feud, but a match that delivered at WrestleMania. We're on to something at this point as Mickie James wins the Women's Heavyweight Championship matchup. First title change hands at WrestleMania. Speaking of titles changing hands, the wrestling god, JBL, takes the United States strap from Chris Benoit, literally takes it because of a move behind the referee's back, and while Chris Benoit had the crossface chinlock on JBL, JBL finagles a 1-2-3 pin count with Benoit not really knowing what's going on. JBL walks out of WrestleMania 22 as the new United States Heavyweight Championship. A very, very good match, in my opinion, delivered from those two gentlemen. Edge took on Mick Foley in a match where we saw Joey Styles come out and replace Jim Ross for one match only. Edge defeats Mick Foley. Not a surprise there, folks. Mick Foley does not have it, cannot bring it as he used to, needs to stop wrestling. Sit back, relax, and enjoy life outside of the wrestling world. Appearances and such great, but Mick, you just can't deliver the matches that you used to deliver. So with that being said, Edge wins against Mick Foley. Mick Foley, perhaps his last WrestleMania appearance. I guess we shall see. Undertaker versus Mark Henry in a casket match, a match that I quite frankly don't know why it was on the card, except because it's a Mick Foley. I'm sorry, not Mick Foley, but an Undertaker match so we can get to 14-0. That's all I'm saying about the match. Undertaker wins. Pyro, lightning on the casket, blah, blah, blah. The Money in the Bank ladder match, ladies and gentlemen, Shelton Benjamin delivering some amazing moves again, yet not living up to last year's matchup. Ric Flair carded out early only to come back and make that heroic return, but not winning the match. Rob Van Dam wins the match and gets the Money in the Bank opportunity coming up within the next 12 months for a World Championship match. Maybe he'll use it as early as tomorrow, but RVD, a man who is tremendously over, yet not quite getting the matches that he deserves in WWE. Mr. McMahon takes on Shawn Michaels in a no-holds-barred matchup. We saw the interference by the Spirit Squad and Shane McMahon. We also saw tables, we saw ladders, we saw chairs. We saw Shawn Michaels defeat Vince McMahon, but Vince McMahon seemingly not done with Shawn Michaels in that particular matchup. Delivered, and in some people's estimations, not mine, but in some people's estimations, the best match of the card of WrestleMania 22 was the no-holds-barred matchup with Mr. McMahon versus Shawn Michaels. Now, I want to say something. Mr. McMahon, in his matchups at WrestleMania, always delivers. Not wrestling, but delivers entertaining product. And sometimes, that's really all you need. The World Heavyweight Championship, folks, it's a three-way dance. I'm sorry, for the WWE Heavyweight... No, it is the World Heavyweight Championship. It's a three-way dance for that strap between Rey Mysterio, Kurt Angle, the current champion, and Randy Orton. Now, you've heard me say time and time again, I'm sick of hearing about Eddie Guerrero. All right? Now, I'm not a heartless bastard like some of you may think, and if you do think that, I truly don't care, because I'm just giving you my opinion, but I'm sick of hearing about Eddie Guerrero. I'm sick of it being for Eddie. He was inducted in the Hall of Fame. Close the casket, leave it done. And Rey Mysterio, a man who I do not feel is championship material, now walks around with the World Heavyweight strap. I just don't think that's the effective way to do things. The fans in general seem to actually be booing Rey Mysterio a lot more than I would have expected. Backlash, the next pay-per-view for Raw, which obviously Rey Mysterio won't be on, but will there be backlash for this Eddie milking, if you will? Because quite frankly, it's well, long, and done, all of the doing it for Eddie. And why wouldn't his cousin, again, I'll ask the question, why wouldn't his cousin, Chavo Guerrero, do it for Eddie? Rey Mysterio is a new world champion. Triple H and John Cena, a match that was just damn fun to be at, folks, because the fans literally don't have a clue what to do when it comes to these two men. They do know that they're not in the middle of the road on this situation. It's either or. It's John Cena, it's Triple H. It's either like him or it's hate him. We saw a new King of Kings video, presumably with a song sung by Motorhead and an elaborate entrance by both men. John Cena paying homage to the gangsters of Chicago's old time. But, you know, all that aside, a match that was actually pretty good. A match that could have gone either way. I went to the show with Meathead, and I asked him, I said, you know, who do we cheer for? Who do we cheer for in this matchup? And it wasn't until Triple H lost that I realized that I actually wanted to cheer for Triple H, the King of Kings, a man who I've bashed many a time in this program, but a man who delivered a great build to a great match and tapped out to the champ, John Cena, giving him a bit more credibility. However, I don't think it worked with the fans, but giving him a bit more credibility at WrestleMania 22. Overall, folks, it was a good show. To me, sitting in the arena did not feel like a WrestleMania. I don't think they could have gotten away with this card if it were SummerSlam, if it were the Survivor Series, or if it were the Royal Rumble. I just don't think the card had enough weight to it, and various reasons for that. It had enough weight to it to deliver the WrestleMania expectations. It was announced that next year it'll be Detroit, Ford Field, site of WrestleMania 3, the city anyways. We got a lot of seats to fill, and I think we got a long 12 months ahead of us to get those seats filled. But WrestleMania is the showcase of the Immortals, and it was again this year. Good show, good performance. Overall, I'd give it a B-, just because that's what I choose to do. I want to know what you guys think about the show. Send us your comments, your questions, concerns. We'll address them on this week's taping of the show. Excuse me for losing my voice, but this is the second night in a row of wrestling action that I've participated in, and we will be bringing you another wrap-up tomorrow night from the Allstate Arena for WWE Raw. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Remember, MaxSportsOnline.com is where you get all this stuff from. Keep on coming back. We enjoy the opportunity that you give us to share our opinions with you. Thank you very much for tuning in to the WrestleMania 22 wrap-up.